Hello everyone. I hope you're well. I'm here to talk to you today about the new moon in Scorpio that is happening on the 20th of November at 7:47 Paris time, which is where I'm recording this from, and 6 a.m. 47 minutes Universal Time. This moon is happening at 28 degrees and 12 minutes of Scorpio. So that's the very last bit of Scorpio before the sun and moon move into Sagittarius. The sun is moving there on the 23rd. Yeah. So let's look at what this moon is bringing to us. Scorpio, out of all the 12 signs of the zodiac, is the one that drives change through creation and destruction. It speaks about that eternal cycle of death and rebirth, each time recognizing that for a reality to be born, for a new reality to be born, the old reality must die. For a new form to appear, we must release all forms. And these cycles are eternal, perpetual. They function at very small scales and at very big scales. They function, let's say, at our scale. If we take the scale of our personal lives, it is at a larger scale. When we die, we release the current form and go into the expansiveness of the everything to find a new form. But it can also be things that are much smaller, which is, for example, letting go of a habit to find a new way to do something, letting go of a place to find a new place where to live, etc., etc. So the principle of Scorpio, and this is the extreme intensity that is being raised here with this new moon, is that in order to become, I must release who I am. So there is a lot of release that needs to happen with this moon, and we'll see that there's more information that helps us do that and revise who we are in order to build the next version of ourselves. So in essence, it's an energy of transmutation. And transmutation is not change. It's beyond change or transformation. When we speak of transmutation, it's the transformation of a substance into another. In nuclear physics, transmutation affects the atom, the nucleus. It's when one atom changes so much that it becomes another chemical element. So the nucleus changes, and this is what is being required from us. It's the same process that is described in alchemy, that transforms a substance, lead for example, into another, gold. So at the end of the day, what Scorpio is the alchemist of the zodiac, is the one that teaches us how to transmute, is the one that teaches us to release what we have so that we can reorganize it and transmute it into a new form. And that's the magic of this sign. The mantra of Scorpio is I desire. Its ruler is Pluto, and older ruler Mars, where sometimes it can be interesting to read the energy of Mars, but mainly Pluto. Sorry. So let's look at the major themes we have for this new moon. The first one is I think it's important to recognize the fact that this new moon is given at the end of Scorpio, which amplifies completely all the energy of Scorpio. Everything that I spoke about transmutation, the intensity of Scorpio. Scorpio is a very intense sign. The themes associated with Scorpio are secrets, violence, money, sex, all these very deep subjects that can be buried in the darkness are very much Scorpio themes. So it's the ability in the path of personal growth is the ability also to see our shadows and to look at them and to acknowledge them and transmute them. Remember that a new moon is the moment to set a new intention, to seed something new. So this moon is perfect for that. And take a look at where 28 of Scorpio is happening in your chart. If you go to any of the free websites where you can create your birth chart, and you will see there are little houses, there are little numbers, and that gives you the number of the house. So check where 28th of Scorpio falls on your chart, and that will give you the area of your life where this seed or where this moon is more likely to awaken or shake up things. Okay? So I was telling you that Scorpio is asking us to transmute and to release forms so that we can incarnate or at least create new ones. To help us do that, we have 5 planets that are retrograde. What does it mean when 5 planets are retrograde? It means that we are invited to revise or to review the themes that these planets are activating. I won't go into this right now, but I'll just tell you the planets that are retrograding, and you can go to the Lighthouse, the community that I created, where I give a whole, not exercise, but a way to work with those planet retrograde so that you can ask yourself around the themes that they are awakening, you know, what can you change, etc., etc. So I'll leave the link in the description, okay? So we have Mercury retrograde, we have Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus. That's a lot, and it's like big planets out of the 7 or 8. So yeah, it's a massive invitation to revise, reassess, reimagine what we are and where we're going. So let's look at this new moon, what's happening with the other planets and what geometries are being formed. First of all, we have Mercury that is exactly conjunct this new moon, which brings us the clarity and the ability to understand and make sense of our darkest and most hidden aspects. It can also mean the revelation of information that was deeply hidden, secrets that can come up to the light. It can mean greater clarity, greater discernment. Also, it can help us understand what prevents us from making the quantum leap of evolution that we're looking for. And so it can help us identify those hurdles, those obstacles that prevent us from evolution. So it's a very, very powerful and very useful aspect to use during this new moon period. I want to say, make sure that if you're working on your hidden aspects and if you uncover things that you hadn't realized before, make sure you're gentle with yourself and that you don't judge yourself. Remember that every time, wherever we are at any point of our lives, everything that brought us here was necessary to keep our balance or to keep us alive, to keep us for our survival. So it's always easier to judge the past from the present, but it's fairer, in my opinion, to be very respectful and to not judge what happened, but instead to integrate what happened and transform it into something new, more useful, more aligned with what we want to create. So at a personal level, this is a great, this Mercury conjunct the Sun and Moon, Mercury Kazemi, is a powerful opportunity to understand, revisit hidden aspects of ourselves, desires, darker parts that now we can see with greater clarity, and use them for transmutation and to propel our own evolution towards what wants to be happening in the next few weeks, months, years. All right. Another very important aspect is a grand trine in water. A grand trine is a great triangle, and most of the times it is happening in one element. And here it's happening in the element of water, which is by excellence the element of emotions. So we have Sun and Moon in Scorpio, as you know, trine Jupiter in Cancer, and trine Neptune and Saturn conjunct together in Pisces. So you will see that in the little sheet that I created to help work with the planets retrograde, you will see the details of each planet retrograding in their sign, how we can work with that. But what I want to insist on is, for me, this brings the emphasis on the emotions and how we can use them. As you know, if you've been listening to these readings or other readings, you probably know that we are heading towards a huge, huge change, both personal and at the level of humanity, a huge transformation, a new paradigm that we are building together and that we are heading towards. And for me, this trine is inviting us and showing us the way to use our emotions in the way we build the future. What we feel, what we desire, with the inspirations we receive, and to pay attention closely to that and to use that in navigating our own lives, navigating our future, creating what wants to come next. I think it's very, very important. Water is the sign of vibration, in the sense that it's constantly vibrating with all the waves that make it. So it's the sign that is, in my sense, the most related to that. And we are entering an era where vibration is the key. So yeah, I invite you really, really to tune into that, to tune into your feelings, to your desires, and to your inspirations, the things that the ideas that are given to you, that just pop up in your head. That's inspiration. And use that to navigate towards the new that you are creating for yourself. So that's the key. Other than that, it is really like inviting us, this trine is inviting us to, of course, focus or think about where we find our emotional nourishment. Maybe it's outside of our blood family. Where is our family of vibration, our soul family? Where is it? How can we expand the notion of family, for example? It also invites us to review our personal dream. What is our dream? What am I dreaming right now? Is that exactly what I want? How can I tweak it? How can I refine it? Am I embodying it? Do I have the spiritual discipline to sustain that dream? Or just the discipline, whether spiritual, whether emotional, whether mental, whether with my daily physical habits, what I eat, etc., etc. What is the structure that I'm putting together to sustain that dream? So all these are questions that these planets are asking us, but mainly because they are involved in a trine of water, grand trine of water. It's giving the clear message and hint that pay attention to the vibrations you're receiving, either through your emotions, your desires, your inspirations. We have another very important aspect here. We have the new moon opposing Uranus at the last degree of Taurus, 29 degree of Taurus. So this speaks about the disruption of what gave us stability so far. So consequently, it is a very strong invitation if not a warning about its collapse, of invitation to revise all the value system on which we built our stability so far, especially our material stability. It can be our home, our income, our diet, our relationship to our body, but mainly what gave us that sense of stability. And with this opposition, we are very, very strongly, almost violently invited to re-examine these aspects and review them. And maybe release the chains that might be blocking our evolution. Because it requires that we let go of a certain stability and to search for how else can we create this stability. I see it as finding the next octave of what is going to bring us stability, what's going to make us feel secure. It's no longer what we have experienced so far. It's something different, something new, something maybe we have never imagined. And that's the work that we are invited to do, to look at that and to accept the idea that this can be taken away and it's fine because we will find something new. And it's time to start thinking of that new equilibrium, what it looks like. And what is very interesting, Uranus is also connecting with Saturn, Neptune, that conjunction in the end of Pisces, which I call it is the holder of the new dream, because it contains both the embodiment and the structure with Saturn, and Neptune, the concept of the new dream. And both of them are going to meet again at 0 degree of Aries in April, I believe, something like that. So in spring for sure, and initiating the building and the creation of that dream. So everything that we do now is towards that point. So I really, really encourage you to do the homework, because once the new is launched, then we're moving into a completely different energy, which is creating, making it happen. For now, we have a few months to prepare, to keep preparing, and then that opportunity will pass and we'll move on to something else. So in that opposition, think about how else you can build your material stability. What else? So yeah, I was saying that Uranus is connecting to the Neptune-Saturn conjunction, which is telling us that that new stability will be aligned with our new dream, or to look at the new stability that we want to build for it to be aligned with that new dream. So if you look at everything that the stars are showing us, it all fits perfectly well. Everyone is collaborating, including the tensions, including the tense aspect, like this opposition between the moon and Uranus, like the conjunction between Mercury and the sun-moon. So all of these can be used to help us move on, evolve, grow. And Pluto as well is supporting us in building that dream, because it's also trining Uranus. It's a long-standing trine, so it's nothing new here, but that connection is still happening. And Pluto, remember, is the planet of reinvention, is the ruler of Scorpio. So it's the one that leads us towards death and rebirth. So as you can see, huge energy of change in all its aspects, of death, in its aspects of reinvention, in its aspects of the old crumbling, in the aspect of creating the vision, and all of these. What else? We have Venus that I want to talk to you about briefly. Venus is in Scorpio. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and it forms a wider trine with the same planets that I was talking about earlier, that form a grand trine in water. But most importantly, it also forms a trine, a very tight trine with the North Node, which is our collective destiny. So above the fact that it's inviting us to review our values and things like that, it's also keeping us in tune with what drives our collective destiny, which is unified consciousness. North Node is in Pisces, and this is Pisces speaks to us about unity. So also hinting at the fact that our collective path is going towards a unified consciousness. Last but not least, I want to speak to you about the conjunction of this new moon with Alpha Centauri, a very, very important star in Egypt between 5,000 and 3,000 before Christ, that was visible at sunrise during the spring equinox, during that period. And then with the precession of the equinox, now it's Alpha Centauri is visible from the southern hemisphere. But at the time, it was visible in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, and many temples were aligned with its helical rising, as in its point at the horizon when it rose for the first time of the year. And there are several temples, very important temples, that were built following its helical rising. It's rising above the horizon. And 9 temples in Lower Egypt, Memphis, Abydos, including Abydos, is built according to Alpha Centauri, and 7 temples in Upper Egypt, including Edfu, Elephantine, Komombo, Philae, all very, very major temples that I'm sure some of you have visited already. So what is the meaning of Alpha Centauri? Alpha Centauri symbolizes the marriage between fire and water. Fire and water produces steam, and that's transmutation. That's changing form, going from water to another form, something that goes into the air, steam. Steam also represents the higher spirit. So on the one hand, it is the transmutation of water into vapor through the action of fire, exactly like alchemy. We're completely into alchemical energy for this moon still. We were already at the last moon. It's also, according to the tradition, the myth of Arthurian legend that allows the contact with invisible worlds. So it brings us closer to other realms, those that are not visible to us. So it's higher planes of the soul that, so it connects us to the higher planes of the soul and help us find the path for us to follow, the evolutionary route that we need to take. So here in Scorpio, connecting with this moon, we can also draw the parallel between what we are asked to do and this connection to the invisible, this invitation to open up to the spirit and to reach the spirit. We can draw a parallel with the centaur. Centaur is half human, half animal, and that's the duality. We're very present in matter, but at the same time very connected to the spirit. So it's about reconciling, living both our divine nature and our earthly nature in harmony. What else? Yeah, I think that's that. In summary, it's a moon of profound review, an invitation for big changes that is shown as something that is required. It's no longer an option. We really need to make those changes in order to enter the new paradigm that is being manifested. We're invited to create from a place of deep authenticity. Depth is an attribute of Scorpio for sure. Authenticity, truth. We have a lot of that present with Uranus. That is very active here. Jupiter, another planet of truth. And yeah, we are heading towards a radical change. Radical change. And also we are invited to find our inner compass. And here this moon is telling us that what we feel, what we desire, what we receive as inspiration is essential. It needs to find its place back into our way to navigate the world. It's no longer just the mind, no longer just the body, but also our feelings, our emotions, and to find the balance between those three. So that's this moon in Scorpio. I haven't brought my deck with me, but Lumineuse has created an online version that is not exactly organized as the tarot deck, but it's good enough. So we're going to ask if what other information can be helpful for us to navigate this new moon in Scorpio. Let's see. Oracle of Agartha. Interesting. Okay, there's no title and I don't have an image, so I'm going to translate it to you. And it speaks about change. How interesting. The best way of not fearing change is to allow it, to facilitate it. By harmonizing with the energies of change, you enter the great work of the great purpose, the great planetary purpose. By not surrendering to your fears, by elevating your will beyond your fear of lack, you will be inspired to incarnate new models of thought and to build new relationship models based on reciprocity, transparency, humility, and sharing. You have in you the power to surrender to the great planetary purpose and to work in conjunction to its realization. The realization of your true self, its purification and its liberation can be found in the new dimension of freedom, the one that comes from your heart, from your deep aspirations for the world, for the human beings and all forms of life. All that love that you bear must find its roots, must extend its roots and create luminous networks to seed the earth of light and allow it to enter into a new expression of life in harmony with the cosmic laws and the universal laws. Your work starts within and expands as a reflection towards the outside, like an extension of your vibration. The sun of your sky extends its rays to reach its cosmic sister and allow it to nourish life. That same sun exists in every being. It has the purpose to dispense life. Do not fear to shine from your center and to flood your being with this light so that it can calm your fears and benefit your heart. Essential key: be the regent of your inner system, the sovereign and the guardian of your light. What a beautiful... I'm sorry, I don't have a picture to show you, but it's such a beautiful text. I will leave it in the description if I can, if it's not too many words. I will leave it in the description because it's absolutely beautiful and supports so much what is happening in this moon. I'm taking screenshots because otherwise I won't be able to find it. All right. Ready for the change? Make yourselves comfortable. We're going to go for the meditation, and I'm going to share some music with you. It's faint to start off with, but there we go. Sit comfortably. On a chair or on the floor, whichever is more comfortable with you, for you, sorry. But just make sure your spine is vertical, elongated, and that your connection sky-earth can be activated. Take a moment to stretch, yawn. And when you're ready, find a comfortable position into stillness. If you're sitting, have your feet flat on the ground. Find the posture where you can be still. And bring your awareness to your body. And take a moment to scan your entire body, starting with your feet. And go up your calves, knees, becoming aware of your physical body, its parts, acknowledging its presence, and the sustain it's giving in the matter to all aspects of your being. We continue with the thighs, your hips, lower belly, lower back. Feel your stomach, the middle of the back, your chest, and your upper back. Feel the gravity in every cell, every bone, every muscle. We continue acknowledging our chest, checking our upper back, shoulders, arms, lower arms, hands, fingers. And I come back to my neck, becoming aware of my throat, the sides and the back of my neck. Then my face, my entire face, my ears, and my head, starting with the back of the head, then the top, and finally the forehead. If need be, I adjust my posture, checking the alignment of my spine. Take a moment to wobble and search for a good position. And I feel it completely vertical. And I imagine an invisible thread pulling my head from the ground very gently, creating space in my spine and elevating my head towards the sky. And I take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale deeply through the nose. Hold your breath. And with the exhale, release any residual tensions, physical, emotional, or mental. One more time. Take a deep breath in, filling up your lungs completely. Exhaling through the mouth. And come back to normal breathing. Breathe in and out through the nose. And bring your consciousness to your heart. Feel your heartbeat. If you need to, bring your hand to your heart or to your neck to feel your pulse. And see how your breath is connecting to your heart, to the beatings of your heart. Take a moment to harmonize both. Inhaling on 4 to 6 beats. Exhaling on 4 to 6 place your entire attention on your heart. And imagine, visualize, feel a sphere of white light. In that center, and with that pure light, this is the place of acceptance of all my desires, all my shadows, my conflicts, of all that needs to go and that has served its purpose. This is the place of unconditionality, where everything that I ever was, everything that I am, finds acceptance and recognition. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And ask myself, what behavior, what emotion, what thought I cannot accept within me? Bring that thought, behavior, or emotion into that place. Into your center. And as I bring it there, I understand that all that seems obsolete today is the fuel and the fertilizer for the next version of me. And I understand that in my heart I find my origin, my 0 point, the place from which everything emerges and everything comes back to. In that place lies the original information of my soul. My essence is held there, protected in my chest, in the Holy of Holies, in my heart. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I ask myself, what is true for me now? What truth needs to be expressed now? Have matured enough for it to be spoken, embodied, acted on. And I feel how my body reacts in expansion, contraction. And I recognize that the truth is the moment where my body, my thoughts, and my actions are in harmony, all feeling expansive and free. And it's there, in the heart, that I find my compass. It's in that place where I know where my north is. And I ask myself, where do I go now? What is my direction? And I listen to what arises. A word, an image, sensation, a feeling. In there lies my future, the vision that is pulling me, and towards which I will express my truth. And I recognize that my desires, my fears, are the engine of my evolution. In my core, I transmute my existing structures into a new octave, where I am guided by my inner compass. With every breath, I accept to die, liberating myself from form, so that I can expand and choose a new form to experiment my truth. I desire. I am. And I calibrate with my voice. heart of the network. When the hearts are free, they shine, they beam, they are bright and warm, and create that mesh that can illuminate all around. Only free hearts can connect. The hearts are free. Slowly you can come back here and now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for being here today and for sharing this information with me for this new moon in Scorpio. And I will see you in the next moon. Ciao, ciao.